Swahili. I represent the people of the Dhaka constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank His Excellency, the President of Uganda, for his comprehensive speech on the State of National Address. Right Honorable Speaker, the President reaffirmed the government commitment to peace, unity, and socio-economic transformation. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to draw the attention of this House to Article 246 of our Constitution of Uganda, which talks about the institutions of traditional and cultural leaders. Right Honorable Speaker, you recall in 2021, February, we lost the king, the head of the institution of Bagwere Cultural Institution, the Ikumbanya of Bagwere. I want to thank the President and the government of Uganda for according him a state burial. It was an official burial. Right Honorable Speaker, since then, the Ikumbanya of Bagwere has stayed without a substantive Ikumbanya. It is my prayer to this august House and to you, the Speaker, the government of Uganda and the line ministry. We need the ministry to intervene and to restore this cultural institution. Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Gender, they constituted the committee of the Uganda Religious Cultural Institution. They tried to come and intervene in this issue, but up to now, it is unresolved. So it is my prayer, Mr. Speaker, the ministry in line, to take this as the urgent and very important. Thank you. I beg to submit.
Mr. Speaker, Sanga Jacqueline is my name. I'm a member of Parliament from Kwale District. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak before the honorable members of Parliament today. It is my first time to be in Parliament. I've been serving as a district councillor for 3 terms, 15 years, and today I want to thank the people of Kwale for promoting me to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to appreciate His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for his State of National Address. And I wish to raise a concern on the state of borderlands in Kwale District. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kwale District maintains about 200 kilometer road, and our roads are rocky, making it difficult to be maintained. And my humble request is, I request the Ministry of Works and Transport to help us with the equipment. And this is the road breaker and the excavator. It is my humble request. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also have a concern from Soy County, and this is a concern whereby we have a county of 4 sub-counties and we don't have even a single secondary school. And by the reports in the district last year, we had that 1 schools called Nyenyen Senior Secondary School was to be constructed. To my dismay this morning, I heard that such a one school has been dropped. I beg to request to get the clarity from this honorable house, through you, Mr. Speaker, to the Minister of Education, to give clarification to why such a single school which could have helped our children has been dropped. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It is 4 p.m. Rule 43 requires 4 p.m. on Thursday. It's Prime Minister's time. And we are at 5 minutes. So, next item, then we shall come back to the debate.
Item 3, statement by the Right Honorable Prime Minister on government business for the succeeding week, 11 to 13 August 2026, pursuant to Rule 29 of the Rules of Procedure.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, members, good afternoon. Right Honorable Speaker, I move pursuant to Rule 29 of our Rules of Procedure as the leader of government business in Parliament to make a statement regarding business of the succeeding week. And that week is from 11th to 13th August 2026. Number 1, we shall have comprehensive ministerial statements on medical terms. Number 2, the statement of health service delivery in the country. Number 3, we shall present a comprehensive ministerial statement on the government measures to address human wildlife conflict across the country. And number 4, a comprehensive statement on the national policy for the national cleaning days. We shall give you a comprehensive statement for you to be more knowledgeable than our people. Then we shall present a ministerial statement on the meteorological forecast of Uganda for this season. Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Now, colleagues who have questions to do with the cleaning day, I think we can wait for that comprehensive statement. Next item.
Item 4, Prime Minister's time.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, members, you are aware I'm supposed to give written responses for 20 minutes and then oral questions thereafter. I got a question from Honorable Joyo Harriet, woman member of Parliament, Obongi. She said that Koki Bridge construction in Obongi district, Itula sub-county, commenced on 12th February 2023 under Dr. Deep in my office. And the end date was 27th December 2023. According to her date, the construction is about 85% complete. And since December 2023, the works are stalled for now 2 years, affecting effective service delivery. And her prayer is, can I update the House on the status of this bridge? Honorable Speaker and members, the bridge was financed under Dr. Deep. That is development response to displacement impact project 1. That's Dr. Deep 1.
The work completed so far is approximately 90%. Following implementation challenges, Right Honorable Speaker, a joint technical review was conducted by the Ministry of Works and Transport and my office and the Oboji District Local Government, and it was established that the original 15-meter single span bridge design was inadequate to safely accommodate the hydraulic capacity of river coach, particularly during the periods of high flows, that is during the rainy season. Consequently, high flows of vehicles and rain. Consequently, the bridge was redesigned to a more resilient 20-meter narrow span structure. The revised design significantly increased the quantities of concrete, reinforcement steel, earthworks, and the associated construction works, resulting in a funding gap of 1.83 billion over and above the original contract sum of 2.44 billion. Right Honorable Speaker and members, government recognizes the inconvenience that this delay has caused to the people of that district, particularly the disruption to the movement of people, goods, and access to essential social services during the periods when river Koti floods. This project has been earmarked to be completed under Dr. Deep 2, which is being implemented under my office. And I promise that I will technically and personally take interest in this matter so that this bridge is completed. And I will visit the site myself. Right Honorable Speaker, the second question came from Rotazio Begunis, MP Lorwa East, that the rubbish dump at Kabarega, Chanamira, Kawaraga, Chanamira Sub-County, Kabare, Kabarega from Kakuni also. The rubbish dump at Kawaraga, Chanamira Sub-County, Kabare is posing a serious risk to the late Kaburusi family, to the late Kaburusi family, and the other families in Kalubanda Valley. It seems it has reached its carrying capacity and could flow downwards anytime because of topography. His prayers are look for another location. Number 2, that will buy equipment that can turn the rubbish into something useful, such as fertilizer. My response, Right Honorable Speaker, is that the Kabale Municipal Council has procured 3.175 hectares of land at Kabaraga, Kaharu Sub-County, about 15 kilometers outside Kabale Municipal Council. By December 2026, the Municipal Council will have moved from Chanamira landfill to the new site. On the issue of buying equipment that turns waste into something useful, like fertilizer, electricity, the Ministry of Local Government has finalized the draft waste management policy. And upon approval by Cabinet, the policy will be brought to the House, because the policy proposes reforms that will help us to turn waste into wealth. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Local Government will in the meantime visit the site and study the proposal to turn waste into wealth through public-private partnership. The third question came from Protasio Luis again, in Dover East. There is no or weak telecom network in the areas of Kavu, Nyabichwamba, Kafundo, and Ntarabani. Rwanda network seems stronger in these areas and interferes with communication in the areas mentioned above. And his prayer is that UCC and the ministry responsible for communication comes to the rescue of his people so that they can communicate like other Ugandans. I told the speaker members, this is my response. To systematically address coverage gaps in these challenging areas, government has approved a clear, time-bound rollout plan for mobile network expansion. Currently, the population coverage for voice services is at 88.6% across the country, with a plan to continue the prioritization of the expansion of this coverage to 100%. And this will ensure that areas of Kivu, Nyabichwamba, Kafundo, and Ntarabana will be addressed in the near future, but for avoidance of doubt, not later than June 2027. That Honorable Speaker and members, recognizing that full territorial coverage in the most difficult terrains will take time. Government has approved the satellite communication services to deliver accelerated connectivity. Fixed and enterprise-grade satellite services will be deployed by October 2026, with priority focus on remote and underserved locations. The deployment of direct-to-mobile satellite services, that is voice and data, currently awaits global spectrum harmonization and approval by international bodies, including the International Communication Union, ITU. Once these frameworks are secured and aligned with the national regulations, mobile satellite services will be authorized in Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, with regard to network signaling from Rwanda, there is an ongoing coordination exercise between the regulators of Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda that will limit the spillover of network coverage from neighboring countries into Uganda to ensure that Uganda customers access local services at local affordable prices at all times. The first question came from Honorable Chonjo Katabazi Patrick, MP Ruchiga County Constituency. The member raised the matter on Kabale, Rusheria, Ruango Road that has not been maintained for more than 3 years now. Muhanga, Chisizi, Kelishon Road that has been included in the NRM manifesto for Tamaki for the last 30 years, but has never been started. His prayer is the member requested for an update on the matter, and this is my response. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this is confirmed that the above mentioned roads are national roads under the Ministry of Works and Transport, and specifically under Kabale Station. The Ministry of Works and Transport, Cavalry Station, is currently working on maintenance of Muhanga, Kisizi, Kenshin Road, spot, that is spot grading, spot graveling, and caravat installation. 2 lanes of caravats at kilometer 37 in Yarusheni and 17 in Wamchuchu that are making the road almost impassable have already been installed. The Honorable Speaker, feasibility studies and detailed engineering designs were completed. Once funds are available, we shall commence the procurement process. The road currently is in a fair condition. Kawale, Ushelea, Wamchuchu Road, also known as Butobe, Muyumbu, Wamchuchu, was last maintained in Q1 financial year 2025-2026. However, due to heavy traffic and incremental weather, the road deteriorated very fast. The Honorable Speaker, the 5th question came from Otto Edward McMott, MP, Agago County. It says Patongo Town Council houses. Patongo Town Council houses a high court, yet it is still a town council. This prayer is when we need to be elevated to a municipal council. My response, Right Honorable Speaker and members, is that government is still operating under the moratorium on the creation of new administrative units, and that is it. Number 6, Honorable Pio Dennis, Geoffrey, MP, Luya County. And that on Tuesday, 16th June 2026, 2 citizens in the names of Okot Dennis and Chile Robinson were gunned down at Wangakwa under the command of the warden in charge of Joseph Okero. And that on Saturday, 20th June 2026, a joint search by political leaders and members of the bereaved families visited the crime scene in the company of wildlife rangers, but were not able to locate the dead bodies of their sons, except the blood spots. To this day, appeals for the release of the dead have not been respected, and loss of lives under unclear circumstances continue to happen in and around the park, while the communities continue to face life-threatening human wildlife unrests. This is a prayer that a thorough investigation be done and reported to this Parliament, and the perpetrators held accountable under the law. The second prayer is that all reported dead bodies be recovered and handed over to their families for a dignified burial in accordance with our customs, our customary laws and acceptable practices of the affected communities. The third one is fast track the compensation of all earlier submitted claims for damages caused to properties, crops, and lives lost. That Honorable Speaker and members, here is my response. On the prayer to investigate and accountability of the perpetrators, according to Uganda Wildlife Authority Situation Report, no ranger patrol were deployed in the alleged area on the day in question. When the matter was raised by the community, who were advised that it be reported to police, a joint search was then conducted involving Uganda Police, the delivery families, and the other area members of Parliament, but no evidence was found at the alleged scene of crime. Nevertheless, government has directed the Uganda Police Force to continue with investigations, and the culprits will be held accountable under the law. On the prayer for recovery and handover of reported dead bodies, the Honorable Speaker and members, the joint search did not yield any bodies or physical evidence. Government remains committed to ensuring that missing persons are accounted for. And if recoveries are made, families will be accorded dignified burials. It is important to note that in the past instances, deaths among poachers have occurred due to disputes or incidents, sometimes misattributed to rangers. This context is being considered in the ongoing investigations. Number 3, on the prayer for fast-tracking of compensation claims. Honorable Speaker and members, government acknowledges the pending compensation claims for damages to property, crops, lives, lost, etc. The Ministry of Forest, Wildlife and Antiquities is reviewing these claims and will fast-track their processing to ensure timely redress. Our records further show that between April and June 2026, 378 arrests were made, with all suspects handed over to the gazetted police station for prosecution, demonstrating adherence to lawful procedure and commitment to due process. Honorable Speaker, government remains committed to protecting the lives and the property of its citizens, ensuring the accountability of officers, and balancing wildlife conservation with the rights and safety of our people. The 7th question came from Peace Tibiasa, woman MP, Jinja District. The member raised an issue regarding the presidential pledge to acquire a sugar factory from sugar farmers. She noted that while meeting sugarcane growers and dealers in Mayuge District, His Excellency the President pledged that government would acquire the Mayuge sugar factory and hand it over to sugarcane outgrowers to address exploitation by dealers and improve farmer outcomes. And her prayer is for the Prime Minister update the House on the progress made in implementing this presidential directive, including the expected timeline for this fulfillment. My response, Honorable Speaker, is that while government was advancing plans to implement the pledge, proprietors of Mayuge Sugar Industries approached government and formally expressed their willingness to sell the existing factory to government for eventual transfer to the people of Busoga. This development presented an alternative implementation option that could accelerate the realization of the presidential pledge by utilizing an already established industrial facility. Subsequently, His Excellency the President engaged with the leadership and representatives of the people of Busoga and briefed them of the proposal presented by the proprietors of Mayuge Sugar Industries Limited. Having considered the proposal, the representatives of the people of Busoga expressed their concurrence with the proposed arrangement and welcomed the initiative as a viable means of fulfilling the presidential pledge. Following these engagements, His Excellency the President directed the relevant ministries, departments and agencies to undertake comprehensive legal, financial, commercial and technical due diligence on the proposed acquisition. The purpose of this exercise was to ensure that any eventual transaction is concluded through a legally sound, commercially valuable and financially prudent contractual framework that safeguards the public interest while securing the long-term interest of the people. Like Honorable Speaker and members, government has in the meantime already taken concrete steps towards implementing the presidential pledge. Funds were released for the acquisition of the land on which Bukoma village in Bukoma sub-county, Luka North constituency, Luka district, and constitutes an important milestone towards the implementation process. Question number 8 is from Honorable Opio Dennis, Geoffrey, Moya County, Moya District. That the Karuma Hydropower Dam project was started in 2013 and completed and officially commissioned by His Excellency the President on September 6, 2024. 13 years down the road, 118 PAPs meant to be resettled in 200 acres of land acquired by government in Raporo village and Naka sub-county, Moya County, in Moya district, as funded, languishing in restitution and object property. Some of the parts, particularly the elderly, disabled, and those living positively, have since passed on without being resettled. His prayer is that what is government? What is the government's position on the plight of these project-affected persons of Karuma Hydropower Dam? Let Honorable Speaker and members, this is my response. Basically, to inform you that the procurement process for the construction of the settlement houses is currently underway in accordance with the Public Procurement Disposal of Public Assets Act. The procurement opportunity has already been advertised in the print media. The process is progressing, and upon its successful conclusion, the successful contractor will be mobilized to commence construction of the settlement houses in this financial year, 2026-2027. Government remains committed to ensuring that the settlement process is implemented in accordance with the applicable national legal and policy frameworks. I also wish to assure the honorable member that prior to and during the groundbreaking ceremony, the project affected persons and their next of kin will be engaged and sensitized on the implementation arrangements, construction schedule, and the overall settlement process. The ninth question came from Honorable Tom Aliti Chandia, Maracha East Constituency. That Karamoja people are now settled and they do grow some crops now. The region is fertile and rich with minerals, and the potential of Karamoja to grow is evident. The prayer is can government plan a special dedicated international affirmative His prayer is that can the government plan a special dedicated intentional affirmative program construct viaducts and rebuild boreholes in the Karamoja region to supply water for consumption and water for production? What is the once for all long-term sustainable plan to ensure water for production is provided in the Karamoja region? Let Honorable Speaker members, my response is that the Ministry of Karamoja Affairs has over the years implemented interventions to build the resilience on the Karamoja community against persistent drought and other natural shocks through construction, rehabilitation of dams, of course including the vicinity. This has been done in collaboration with ministries, departments and agencies, specifically Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Wildlife and Fisheries, among others. This effort is complemented through partnership with development partners, NGOs, civil society organizations operating in Karamoja. Let Honorable Speaker and members, to further strengthen sustainable development in Karamoja, Cabinet directed the Ministry of Planning, the National Planning Authority in September 2022 to develop a 10-year comprehensive Karamoja Regional Development Plan aligned to the National Development Plan. Cabinet approved the plan in July 2025 and implementation has commenced. The Karamoja Regional Development Plan focuses on addressing the persistent development and humanitarian challenges that have affected the region over the years. Question number 10 came from Honorable Karuya Andrew Kiza, Chiguru South. He says that following the government takeover in 2022 and the subsequent handover of its land and assets by the Church of Uganda in December 2024, Busoga University is yet to commence operations as a public university because the necessary statutory instruments to legally operationalize it have not been issued. And his prayer is when the government issues the required statutory instruments to operationalize Busoga University as a public university, and what measures are being taken to expedite this process, enable appointment of its government organs, allocation of funding, and admission of students. Below is my response, that Honorable Speaker and members. That the establishment of a public university requires mandatory legal, financial, and administrative processes to be completed in the prescribed statutory sequence. Substantial progress has been made, including the settlement of liabilities, transfer of the university's assets to government, development of academic programs, and preparation of the governance structure. The remaining steps relate principally to statutory approvals. The Minister of Education and Sports will present the Cabinet memorandum. On the other hand, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is also processing the certificate of financial implication required to accompany the memorandum. The university's governing and administrative organs will be constituted after the statutory instruments establishing the university have been enacted. Student admission will commence after the university has been legally established and each Senate constituted, since the Senate is the organ mandated to admit students. Honorable Mariam Iganga, District. It says that besides primary transit highway linking Kampala to Lucia and Mbale, the internal road network across Uganda, comprising of both feeder roads and roads under management of Ministry of Works and Transport, is deeply degraded, impeding trade and agricultural transportation. Our prayer is what imagines the road rehabilitation funds and mechanical interventions have been set aside by the Ministry of Works, Transport to restore the broken internal and feeder road networks linking our rural sub-counties to economic centers within Uganda district. Honorable Speaker and members, the internal road network across Uganda under Ministry of Works and Transport that links to the major transit highway in Uganda district includes Uganda Karido Road, 30 kilometers. The road is currently in good motorable condition. Manual routine maintenance works are being carried out by the labor-based contractors and mechanized maintenance work, pothole patching, road marking, and culvert replacement works are ongoing. Bowenge, Nakarogu, Karido Road, 15 kilometers under Uganda district. The road is currently in good condition. Routine manual maintenance by labor-based contractors is ongoing. Grading the entire road length was completed in April 2026 and the AMCO culverts were installed. Honorable Speaker, members, access to Uganda rail station is 1 kilometer. Routine manual maintenance by labor-based contractors is ongoing. Uganda Mayugi, that's 10 kilometers under Uganda district. The road is in good condition. Manual routine maintenance works by labor-based contractors and routine mechanized maintenance works under the framework contract by Etax Limited is ongoing. Nawanda, Nambale, Namaremba, Kisiro Road, 20 kilometers under Uganda district. The road is also in good condition. Uganda Busesa, Nawandisa, 10 kilometers under Uganda district. The road is also in good condition. Uganda Ropa, Kamini, 10 kilometers under Uganda district is also in good condition. Upgrading construction works being carried out by the contractor, Arab contractors. I got another question, Honorable Speaker, from Honorable Mariam, still Uganda, and this, she says that at Uganda General Hospital, health care and maternal health infrastructure remain heavily congested and under-resourced due to the rising number of health service seekers from within and neighboring communities, forcing many mothers on floor spaces. And her prayer is that immediate infrastructure intervention by the Ministry of Health to expand and adequately equip the maternity and neonatal wings and definitive timelines for upgrading neighboring estate affiliates and to pause to alleviate this condition. Honorable Speaker, members, my response is that Germany has taken note of the concern from the members and will accordingly undertake a comprehensive assessment of the infrastructure needs of the hospital this financial year 2026-2027, and then plan for expansion and rehabilitation of the hospital in the financial year 2027-2028 with expansion of the maternity as first priority. serving the members' prayer of upgrading the neighboring health center 3 to health center 4 to decongest the hospital. Government approves this strategy and will assess the health center 3 in the neighborhood of the hospital, especially those in or near the municipal, and then plan for the upgrade starting with at least one facility in the year 2027-2026, subject to availability of funds. And of course, you are aware that the policy is each constituency should have a health center 4. Or between Breast Freedom or a county. That Honorable Speaker and members, she says we have information that the feasibility study for the 119 kilometer Navy Goli, Paida, Zombo, Zoo, Wa, and Vura Road was completed way back in 2017. In October 2025, they were informed that the contract for Goli, Paida, Zombo, up to Vura Road will be signed in April 2026, and construction will commence soon after. Her prayer is that people of Zombo would like to know where the contract will be signed and when the construction of Goli, Paida, Zombo, Vura Road will commence. Let Honorable Speaker and members, the feasibility studies and detailed designs for the upgrade of Goli, Paida, Zombo, Vura were completed in March 2018. Due to the passage of time, these studies require updating. The Ministry of Works and Transport received my guidance to work with China for upgrading the Goli, Paida, Zombo on the pre-financing basis dated 23rd September 2024. The Ministry is working with the contractor up to date the design for commencement and the procurement. That Honorable Speaker and members, I got another question from Honorable Achai Julie, Mura County. That Honorable Speaker, the member is asking me the improvement of the road infrastructure, which is a greater catalyst for socio-economic transformation. Accordingly, we thank the government of Uganda for securing funds, including US dollars 106 million from the Islamic Development Bank and US dollars 35 million from the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development for the 98-kilometer Kumimura Serere Kakwara Road. However, there are numerous complaints from the project affected persons who feel the compensation figures were arbitrarily determined and are inadequate. The Line Ministry was assured the Committee on National Economy that compensation was well provided for, yet on ground our people are crying for. And her prayer is that the minister sends valuers on ground to transparently explain to the parties how the compensation figures were arrived at. This is the only way to eliminate controversies and have a seamless execution of the long-awaited project. My response, like Honorable Speaker and members, that the compensation awards given to the project affected persons were as a result of the market research. And consequently, these were approved by the Chief government value. However, where grievances arise, we have a grievance redress mechanism on the project through project grievance management committees for the respective sub-counties to take note of these issues. Our land acquisition team has been instructed to go back on the ground and address these issues. Question number 15. Right Honorable Speaker and members came from Honorable Okel Peter, Bukoli Island, County Namango District. He says that Parliament appropriated money last financial year for rescue centers on our lakes to save people from the water accidents on Siguru, Kalangala, and Ruvuma Islands. To date, none is functioning. And the prayer is, can you please update on the matter? And this is my response, and I believe this is the last question I got. Right Honorable Speaker and members, these funds which were allocated under the National Lake Victoria Maritime Communication and Transport Project. The project was funded by African Development Bank and Government of Uganda, which commenced in 2018 and was completed in March 2026. Government of Uganda component is still ongoing with planned construct for search and rescue centers and the following. Misonzi landing site, that is Kalangala district. Numba M landing site, that is Ruvuma Island. Rwanika landing site, that's Mayumi district. Kilindi landing site, Bonda landing site, Buipwa district. Funds have been allocated in the budget of financial year 2026-2027 for construction works for one search and rescue center under Government of Uganda development at Misonzi landing site in the Kalangala district. Procurement has already started. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I beg to submit.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. As clearly stated at the beginning, we should have taken 12 minutes. We've taken 45 minutes, but because you have all these questions, so I would like to guide what the brief should be looking at between 8 and 10 questions, so that we can have more time for the minister as well here to give you support.
Which company do you broadcast from?
Questions for oral answer, please. These are not matters of life and importance.
Live from here.
Number 6, 1.
Are you sure? No. Because I'm not allowed to swim from here. But you continue. I will find out.
Prime Minister, I want to accommodate as many as possible. Very sharp questions and sharp answers. And I'm going to start with Honorable Gwanya Hope. Honorable Otuke.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to also appreciate Right Honorable Prime Minister for helping us in aiding a fairly small implementation of the trade order in Mubende municipality. However, Right Honorable Prime Minister, this came with a few challenges. For example, we have carpenters who were shifted from the Mubende Highway to Fort Control, and these were put next to the regional referral hospital, Right Honorable Prime Minister. And we have been facing challenges with the electricity supply to the regional referral hospital, which has led to a downtime of some of the equipment in the regional referral hospital. Right Honorable Prime Minister, these carpenters are over 200 people, and the machines they use consume a lot of power. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I'd like to report to you that I earlier on in...
Thank you. Right Honorable Prime Minister. Okay. So colleagues, I was very clear from the beginning. It's 1 year and you have to use it. And I request Right Honourable Prime Minister that the member writes the question so that we are able to answer seems to be a long one.
Right Honourable Speaker, tomorrow I'm going to Mumbai. I believe she's aware. We are going to the market of Mumbai. We are also going to see those people who were affected. I promise that my sister, she knows we have always worked together. We shall go and handle this.
You also tell followed by
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to inquire from Right Honourable Prime Minister. The other day she was on the floor of Parliament and she stated that Cabinet has accepted to support all the districts around in Karamoja. But it was on Monday we received a call from Office of the Prime Minister that we're supposed to submit only 3 sub-counties. Yet the district is aware that she said the ministry is going to support all the surrounding districts. I beg to know.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker and members, the fact is government has been able to provide food to the drought-affected people of Karamoja who had started dying. Everybody is aware. And we thought it wise that the neighbors who are under the same area may also have been affected. And these are the districts of Agapo, Chitiku, the districts of Katakwi, Otuke, the districts of Kamerabio. Right Honourable Speaker and members, we were given 45 billion to provide food. Because the processes were too long, the procurement process, the President guided and directed me to use NEC. NEC is the commercial arm of UPDF. And that's why we are able to provide food in that shortest time. And we started with those people who are dying. We have been seeing this on TV. Now next is going to be the neighboring districts.
Thank you. Honourable
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. For the record, my name is Ryan Kapero Nesta, representing the people of Overseas County. Right Honourable Speaker, the African Development Bank funded the construction of the Swan One Border Point. It was completed, including the road from Kapchorwa to Swan. But as we talk, in the design, the one-stop border point included the market. The design was there available. They looked for land, the land was available. But up to date, the market has not been constructed. Our people are selling in the dust, looking left, right, there is no market. So I would like the Prime Minister to tell the people of Overseas County, and particularly people, so where this market is, the money was available, but
thank you. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker and members, the issue to upgrade markets across border points was initiated by the President. The markets are Mutukula and many other markets across the country. And we got a facility under the African Development Bank. As for the update, I request the Ministry of Trade to go on ground and ascertain what truly happened.
Thank you. Honorable Peter, followed by Honorable Ayagala.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My concern is surveying is well endowed with children who are talented in athletics. It's actually, I would say, it can actually earn more than probably even the oil reserves in oil. But unfortunately, I think somehow we have had a little misplaced priority. In this case, I was really asking the Prime Minister if we can invest, if we have a special intention to invest in the athletics in survey. I am sure currently Kenya earns $77 million from athletics, while in Uganda we are earning around 500 million Ugandan shillings.
Right Honorable Prime Minister. The system is automatic. So,
That Honorable Speaker, neighbors, government of Uganda prioritizes athletics from our brothers in Sebei sub-region. That's why we have Terriet. You know, we have invested heavily in that area. We shall continue Terriet training ground. We shall continue to invest.
Thank you. Honorable Ayagala, followed by Honorable Malene.
Honorable Speaker, I am Ayagala Jamal, representing the people of Bukola County North. Honorable Prime Minister, during the campaigns, the President pledged all town councils and sub-counties will now be center freeze. Our people are suffering in Namayimba County Council, Mwai County Council, now Kulula and so on. Honorable Prime Minister, you used to say that better than sons of Soga, you are the grandmother of all of us. So kindly, can you intervene and you see the progress in these things that you were pointing at the President? Lastly, on the issue of the central market of the district, the bad condition, kindly, Prime Minister, can you come and visit these people and see how they are, the challenges they are facing in the district? Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, neighbors, I know you are aware our policy as government is to make sure that every sub-county in this country receives a health center free, and that every county or coast-west receives a health center for every district, a district hospital. That's our policy. We are currently looking for money to make sure that the remaining, is it 300? We still have 300 something health facilities that are yet to be covered. My grandsons and granddaughters will be covered also. Then the market of Bugiri, and we have a project that has been rolling out throughout the camp to support municipal councils in markets. Bugiri will also benefit in this project that we are designing right now.
Thank you, Honorable Shabi Marende, followed by Honorable Mary Nanzara.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Marende Shamim, Kampala District. I rise on the persistent flooding in Kampala, which continues to endanger lives and also cause destruction of property and disrupt businesses due to inadequate drainage systems. Every time it rains, places like Central Kundembe Market, New Tax Park, Namkela Plaza, they flood. People's motorcycles and vehicles are swept away by the rains. What measures is the government taking to improve on Kampala's drainage infrastructure and also compensate victims who are business owners. I beg to submit.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker and members, this Monday we received a comprehensive plan from KCCA on how to conclusively manage flooding in Kampala. Some work has been done and she's aware. I want you to remember that in last year, traders, in October last year, some traders lost a lot of property due to flooding, and this made it impossible for people to do business. And the government is earmarked 20 billion. We are going to compensate those people. However, in order for us to have a lasting solution, 18 drainage systems were constructed since that time around the central business area. And that's why these days we have had, I think, a number of downpours these days. It's not flooding. But this has been reoccurring since when our people, the Nabukera Plaza, those people who constructed, remember there was a policy to construct underground parking spaces, and people decided to put shops underground. And so when they did that, flooding became imminent, and that's why we have been at this. But since that time, we have constructed and opened more channels. Remember this the Ham building and many others. These days, it's not flooding, and I want neighbors to thank her for the good work he has done in supporting government open some other drainage channels, and water now can move from up down without affecting our traders. Thank you so much.
Now, Deputy Nazara, followed by Honorable Kizara Deputy, followed by Honorable Mawuzi, and Honorable Sarah Kavaraka. Colleagues, I started with members whom I had pending matters of national importance, and I told them that clear them from here. So they are written here. So you don't need to make a prayer before me. You want it's just being on this list that I first sort out. Okay? So just settle down and I promised yesterday, you remember, I said, those pending matters of national importance are handled. But colleagues, you have microphones here. I'm going to start with speaking with the front microphone, cutting the table.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, I can refuse that right.
Sorry. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance also to speak something. May God bless you so much. By the name, I'm called Nazana Metri, MP Nansigwa County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here, and our dear Prime Minister has said, and I was very happy that there are health centers which are there, and me in my constituency, we have suffered for more than 20 years without health facilities. Really, I have 13 sub-counties, but over 9 sub-counties lack health facilities, and people have died, mostly pregnant women, and I've taken, just briefly, I'm taking care of orphans, and really the number of orphans is increasing day and night, Mr. Speaker. And another issue is about Mount Elgon National Park. Please, we need a boundary proper demarcation so that people are not beaten, are not mistreated. Mr. Speaker, I do request that at least there will be safety of demarcation, survey, and land marked to stop this declaring conflicts in Mount Elgon National Park. We are not allowed to go to Malaria. We used to go to Malaria, but we have been captured with people. Are they both or not, Mr. Speaker? I would like to know. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. Right, Honorable Speaker, members, in 2022-2023, I was in Ibare together with the Ministry of Water and Environment, the Ministry of Wildlife and Antiquities, Tourism and Antiquities, and the Ministry of Lands, and the local leaders, including members of parliament. We had the first meeting at Ibari Resort. Then we also took an aerial view and eventually agreed that we do boundary opening, which was done in 2023. That Honorable Speaker and members, in 2024 a report was brought to my office, which report was presented in cabinet. It was found out that a number of people had encroached on Mount Elgon, and Mount Elgon National Park had also encroached on some members' land. And so, since that time, we instituted a committee involving the local leaders, the RDCs in those districts, and we await a report to see, because we are negotiating with neighbors. Because if the national park encroaches on you, and that land is an enclave, still you will have issues of landslides. So we are negotiating with the communities, allow government take over that land that is dangerous for members to settle. But also, the members will be relocated to safer places, because some of them are also inside the net. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right now, yesterday we discussed that issue a little bit, and we had requested the minister to bring a statement, but after she has come to cabinet, because we are having problems across the country, areas made by the national parks. We feel we should resolve that issue. So the government will really sort out that issue of boundaries, so that we know, and we live in reality. So I want to thank you, and I hope it can be resolved soon. Eddie, followed by Honorable Mama.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Right, Honorable Speaker, the people which Soro have a special relationship with the Prime Minister, because she knows Soro very well, and she knows Mchimbi County is the most visited county in the whole county, in the whole country. But it has not had any share of tarmac. Yet some people who are investors, like in this house, Honorable Kate Shumbalia has a very good hotel in my constituency since I don't represent him. So I want to be safe, right on when are we having a share of the tarmac? And secondly, when are we having Chisoro categorized as a refugee affected district? I thank you.
Minister for Works is here. Support the President. I don't know where you are on. And I know you can manage. No, the issue is not one.
I know clearly, but I wanted the ministry to give a concrete answer. I am aware that we gave priority to tourism roads, and that is one of them. There are concrete plans by government to make sure that, because we get a lot of funds from tourists, I request that you allow me direct the Ministry of Works and Transport to come with a comprehensive answer to that, or next Saturday I will come with a written answer.
Thank you. Right on the yesterday we had an issue of roads and we studied the committee on physical infrastructure. So let the component of tourism roads come out properly, we should study and when we are debating and the resolution later, we shall show it. But I know that area very well. I think around 60% of the money from Gwindi comes from that side. If we go to Uguri, it's the most visited by all kinds of tourists. And even this coming week, the Speaker of the Parliament of Czech Republic is flying. It's just for the traffic. You know, so you can see the kind of people who are coming from all over. So we need to support the roads in the way. Mamalu, followed by Honorable Kawaroko.
Thank you, Veteran Speaker. Amawi James, Attorney President. Veteran Speaker, our people live in fears because we have outbreak of stray animals, that is dog, causing a disease called human rabies to people. And when they are affected or attacked, you go to hospital, you don't get vaccine, which is supposed to be given to those who are affected in the hospital and health facilities. Veteran Speaker, can government help us provide vaccine? And secondly, if possible, can government use a scientific way to eliminate those stray dogs? Thank you, Veteran Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, members, I am lucky I was in the Ministry of Health, so I'm going to give an answer that will help us all. Colleagues, the issue of rabies, we agreed as a ministry then that we needed to vaccinate our dogs because it is cheaper. Each vaccine costs 2,000 Uganda cedis. Vaccinating human beings, each dose is at 25,000. Then I don't know now, and that would cost 75,000. So vaccinating animals is cheaper, and so that's why we wait for that option. And the vaccines are always available everywhere in the health. So I urge members to take this to our communities so that we don't have people who are dying of rabies.
But beyond that, right Honourable Prime Minister, the stray dogs which are giving them problems, do you think government will be available in any way? Because being bitten by a dog is also another problem, even if you're killed. Being attacked by an animal, it's bad enough.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The members, rabies is a zoonotic disease that is prevalently affecting dogs and can also affect human beings. We have taken measures to address areas where it is prevalent. We have educated, we have masses. One is that we should vaccinate our pet animals, including dogs, and make sure that when you keep a dog, it is vaccinated. For stray dogs, we have mechanism that we deal with stray dogs, and that's how we have been able to deal with Kampala. But we advise the community, one is that when you see a stray dog and you have been bitten by a dog or any animal, you should report immediately to the health facility. We keep some emergencies in all hospitals to deal with these unfortunate incidents. But also encourage people not to keep a lot of garbage, because unnecessary garbage also attracts these animals. But all in all, that we are actually trying to make sure that we deal with stray dogs when we get reports about stray dogs. And I take interest to listen to the member and go to the area and use our veterinary officers to make sure that we actually deal with those stray dogs. Unfortunately, we used to use the...
Honorable, we usually have very short answers because of the limited time. Thank you for being generous with the information. Honorable Sarah Kawarapale, Honorable Kora Alex, and Honorable Aida Singh.
Thank you, Rector Speaker. My name is Sarah Kawarapale, Bunyangabu District. Rector Speaker, along the Potopoto Bunyangabu Kasese Road, specifically in Bunyangabu District, in villages of Bunjojo, Kasunganyanja, Changa, there has been accidents happening time and again in that stretch. And we have written to the Executive Director several times, we have written to UNRA, but we haven't yet been answered. And we have lost lives, we have lost goods, and this has not been only for Ugandans but the whole of East Africa. So my prayer is that there should be an expansion of Kasunganyanja playground to eliminate that sharp.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister.
We shall send a team of engineers to do the assessment, and then we shall thereafter come up with the way forward.
Thank you. Honorable Kora Alex. Kora Alex, followed by Ali Kasigi, Uganda. Ali Kasigi, Uganda. Honorable, he's here. Former Mayor.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. First of all and foremost, I want to congratulate you for being elected for this August House and being the custodian of rules. Right Honourable Speaker, my name is Kasirenganda Ali, known as Yanyama because of there. And I have experience because the amendment of the KCC Act 2019, I was now as a speaker for you. So I can say I did my job as a speaker.
I thought the experience of meeting.
Right Honourable Speaker, I'm going to Kasirenganda Ali, known as Yanyama, but the purpose of record is Kasirenganda Ali. I'm representing the people of much in the East, which is the land of Sugarland, because of the environment and the prominent people staying there. Right Honourable Speaker, my issue here is the National Cleaning Day. It's a national protest, Right Honourable Speaker.
No, it's Prime Minister's time.
Prime Minister.
Yeah, but only.
Please, just 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. National Speaker, the National Cleaning Protest is a noble cause for keeping Uganda clean, but economic pain to our traders, travelers, for the exercise to be in prison or driving for 4 hours. Right Honourable Speaker, to avoid that for our traders, let's be with 1 hour, it is enough for our special noble cause for keeping Uganda clean. But our traders, the social service, our people in the city, the community are suffering on daily bread. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, former Speaker.
Right Honourable Speaker, members. The National Cleaning Days were started on 25th of July 2026. This came after vigorous processes by Cabinet. Members, we thought it wise as government, under the wise leadership of His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who came up with this idea that every last Saturday of the month, we as Ugandans take this responsibility to clean our country. Not only Speaker and members, you will realize that 75% of the disease burden we have in our country is due to sanitation issues. Already, those of you who are moving around Kampala and other municipal councils, the places are already clean. How did we come to the 3 hours? Not only Speaker, we thought 3 hours from 7 to 10, 3 hours is enough for people to clean. As we are starting, you will realize that in Kampala it was not easy. There was a lot of garbage in Kampala and many other municipal councils and towns. Why? There is a cost. The cost on domestic waste or domestic waste.
Right, Honorable, since you promised the statement next time, can we have the details in the statement?
I don't think so. But I thought I would give members challenges.
We save time here. I know we pick many questions.
You know, giving an answer that is not really well structured is also not easy. Because National Cleaning Days, I want to thank Ugandans. They welcome the idea of the president, and I want to thank the president. Next time is on 29th of this month, and we are going to do better. Thank you.
So next week we have a statement, the Prime Minister volunteered for government to give a statement, which will help us to ask all these questions at the end. Honorable Namuja Judith, followed by Honorable Namu Uma.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Judith Namuja, representing Buguma Islands. I would like to thank the government for giving the people of Buguma a modern ambulance and a modern ferry. However, on the side of a modern ferry, the pier was not completed. The protecting bars along the docking zone, both at Shiindi and Shilongo, are not complete, making it too dangerous to the passengers. Call upon the Ministry of Works to complete that work. And also on the side of the modern water ambulance, the ambulance is too expensive in terms of fuel consumption. The district appeal center cannot afford to fund it in cases, especially for emergencies of murders. There is need for special fuel considered.
Right Honorable Prime Minister. Yes, Minister for Health is here.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, it's very true that water transport is very expensive, especially in terms of fuel, because of the viscosity. The ambulances were just an emergency measure, but the long-term solution is to ensure we build capacity on the islands to handle the emergencies. That is Namaingo, Mayuge, Buguma, and Kalanga, by enhancing the spectrum of services in the health center force and deployment of more staff. But as a matter of immediate concern, we have taken note of that, and we shall ensure that the fuel allocation for the boat ambulances is increased. Thank you.
Thank you. The other one was here, I think Minister of Works, we should follow the Minister of Works. Yeah. Honorable Namu Uma. Honorable Selfenya David, followed by Honorable Kirunzi Anet, and then Honorable Faith Naku.
Honorable Speaker, Reverend Minister, allow me to bring to your attention that the interns were deployed on Monday, that was that, but I want to bring to your attention that none of them has reported because of the interns policy. And the previous cohort is still concluding work. And you know it very well that in the country we have a doctor-to-patient ratio of 105,000, which is breached by the interns. My humble prayer that you update the House on how far that process has reached, because there are going to be a gap. And lastly, the challenge is that whoever does not report by 14 will be cancelled. So I need your update. Thank you.
Right now, what we have not told you is one of them. So intern, thank you. Right now, Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, members, in my statement of the business for the week, the issue of interns will be handled on this front. Thank you. Conclusively. Thank you.
Correct, sometimes when we see statements of this nature, the Prime Minister does sometimes they are going back cabinet to first consult and conclude. So you get an answer that is always something. Honorable Kirun Kane, followed by Honorable Kutse.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Kirumbi Anet Kamela, Kabarole District. Right Honorable Speaker, the road from Mitiana to Chenjojo is being worked on, but specifically the stretch between Chegegwa and Chenjojo is really in a very bad state. I beg something be done on that. Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, members, Chenjojo, Chegegwa, Morende. Right Honorable Speaker, members, the President directed that that road be worked on using our in-house engineers. Already 11 kilometers are informed have been worked on. The remaining kilometers will be worked on using the same arrangement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Nakutwe, followed by Honorable Kenan Opio and Honorable Bongo Peter.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to thank you for the food you sent to Napak District. About 40,000 households received it. Now, my worry is there is a whole year ahead. The 30 kgs per household cannot feed people for 1 year. We need to support them to grow own food. I have consulted the meteorology department and they have assured me that rains in Napak will fall in September and up to December. It's on a window. They have even gone ahead to mobilize people in some of our markets to grow food, but they need seed. The people of Napak have asked you to provide seed within the emergency budget, despite the government policy that the Minister of Agriculture communicated yesterday when there is a crisis.
Right Honorable Prime Minister. They are saying instead of emergency, give them seeds and they come to their home.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. MAIF is already working on a program, and very soon we're going to be meeting with members of Parliament from Karamoja, and we will update them on our implementation plan. Thank you.
I hope it will soon because it is timely.
We shall call you next week. Even the hose you had talked about, we are dispatching early September. We started with the central part of Uganda and Lamu sub-region and Acholi, Karamoja and Western Uganda. Hose are coming early September.
Thank you. Honorable Kenan Opio, followed by Honorable Bongo. Honorable Kenan Opio.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Colleagues, my name is Kenan Opio, representing Osiris South. I'm raising a matter of national importance regarding the strategic route of Nakete, Kasenge, Nakauka, Maya, and Chisui, Nakauka, Kasa, and Denbich. The strategic road is meant to digest the traffic flow along Masaka Road, but also a strategic connection of Entebbe City and Kampala to Ipiti. Right Honorable Speaker, it is very difficult now to conduct business with the levels of dust. And the other time the Prime Minister told us that the issue was because of compensation. Can we have an update? Otherwise, we have to bridge the gap of infrastructure inadequate for us to be able to boost our economy. Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, members, I want members to appreciate that road is one of our strategic roads. It's a natural road. However, like I told you the other time, compensation became a little tricky. You know how expensive land is from that stretch of Natete Nakauka. It required the government to get 170 billion. It became quite challenging. So we agreed in cabinet that that road be designed according to the available land. Available land except in very, very dangerous areas. So we are going to reduce it and work within what we can manage.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Wong Speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Peter Obong Achura, the Member of Parliament of Maris. Right Honorable Prime Minister, on Tuesday, the Minister of Works and Transport presented before this House details of the roads and bridges to be worked on. Masindi Port Ferry Bridge that had the road 1795 was not mentioned. The beneficiaries of this bridge that had expected the bridge to be put in place are asking, where has the bridge gone?
I don't know where the bridge has gone. However, I will ask the Ministry of Works to make sure that that bridge is equally prioritized. Next time we come, the bridge will be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, WaterAid tried to get water for refugees for production, but they touched the eye of the water, and what has produced they cannot handle anymore. Over 50 kilometers has been submerged. Refugee crops, also plants have totally dried. The road has been cut off. My prayer is, Right Honorable, is it possible for Ministry of Water to take over this water that water it can no longer manage and help both the refugees and host community with water for production, and also relieve our people from the burden that they can no longer cross, nor can they grow food in Veki Parish in Okupi sub-county, Territorial district. Thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and members, still I refer to the Ministry of Works.
Honorable David Nambotu, followed by Honorable Charles Chivari.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable, for this opportunity. My matter of national importance relates to the delivery
of an ambulance to Mokta South constituency under the Ministry of Health National Emergency Medical Service Program. In November 2023, the Ministry committed to provide at least one type B ambulance to every constituency. When Mokta North received, Mokta South is yet to receive one and currently has no ambulance at all. This is a matter of urgency because the constituency hosts a major sector of Kampala-Masaka-Mbarara Highway, which is highly prone to road traffic accidents. I therefore pray that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health updates this House on when the ambulance.
Right Honourable Prime Minister. Thank you,
Honourable members. I know members are aware that in the last term of office, in the 11th Parliament, this Parliament appropriated money and we bought, that's why you are here, we bought ambulances and some ambulances, and that covered only 54% of the requirement. This financial year, 2026-2027, we have budgeted for 50 ambulances. I promise that cost was already covered.
Thank you, Honourable Churazu, followed by Honourable Kiwanuka Sulaiman and Honourable Okeropa.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Chivashari Kamhanda, woman representative in Mbarara City. I rise to draw attention of this August House to the fire outbreak that have occurred in the timber market in Biafra Sale, Kamukuzi Ward, Mbarara City North, Mbarara City, in the morning of 4th August 2026. Right Honourable Prime Minister, this incident has resulted in significant losses to 152 timber dealers, with their businesses and premises destroyed and other economic activities severely disrupted. We experienced the same incident on 21st July 2023 in the same area.
Right Honourable, how can they be helped?
Right Honourable Speaker and members, I got this information 2 days ago when Barugaha Baram was in Mbarara. He put me on the microphone. You know his style. And I committed to those people of Mbarara that I'm sending their team, which team left today morning in Mbarara. And I request that you give me just some little time. After assessing the extent of damage, we shall come and look for supportive measures. But I also want, yes, we shall take a formal decision on how to support them. But I also want members to see how best, because I'm told it is locally, almost everywhere. So we need to see how best we can protect our businesses from such fires.
Thank you. Honourable Kiwanuka Sulaiman. Honourable Okeropa.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Congratulations for having ascended into that office. My concern is arise from the issue of the last concluded election of LC1. We all went and participated in this election, but I think we had a lot of flaws. From voter intimidations, the lining up issues, the issues of the voter register tampering, and all that. We now have the election for LC2s and the Council of Canada. I am sorry to report that we have noticed that the sensitization that we talked about has even reduced, and we are worried that the election of the LC2s may be exhausted. So we request that the Prime Minister
I'm happy the Minister of Justice is here. Prevail over.
Right Honorable. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I am happy to report that 72% of all the elected positions at LC1 were taken by NRA. %19% by independent who are linked to NRA. And that makes you to know what will happen. This also helps us to inform the whole world that the NRM won convincingly the just concluded elections that brought us in power. And this shows you that the opposition in this country have no space in Uganda. Now that I have the Minister of Justice and Constitutional
They have no space or they have
limited space, limited space, I'm sorry, limited space. And so his question now, you are aware that from LC1 executive, those are now the voters of LC2.
Right Honorable, please just answer the...
I request that you protect me.
You're protected, don't listen to anyone.
Members, that means those who are already in the system of LC1 are the ones who are going to vote and to be voted in LC2. Now that I have the Minister of Constitutional Affairs and who is in charge of Electoral Commission, come and conclude his question and ask. No, right Honorable, you know his DP, we have a very complete marriage. So we are answering in that manner.
Right, Honorable Minister, but you can avoid issues of marriage.
Mr. Speaker, I have no comments on the other matters of who has space and who has limited space. That is answered by Article 1 because power belongs to the people and they decide. And they decide periodically. Mr. Speaker, sir, I take note of the issue raised by the Honourable Member for Aswa County, and I want to assure him that we should have faith in the laws. Elections are supposed to be run according to the laws. That's why we even have petitions. I also have a petition against me in court. So the proper thing is to follow the law. If there's any breach of the law in the election, the same laws also provide ways of redress, and that's what we would encourage. Where crimes are being committed and there is evidence, we should follow them up. I want to assure all members who have any complaints here that if you share with us the details of the information, we can guide on how meetings can be held. Nevertheless, we must not lose faith in the laws of Uganda. They provide ways of how things should be done, and where people are aggrieved, there are also methods of redress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Swaka, Honorable Chirumbira, Honorable Karuya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have two issues. Madam Prime Minister, LC1 elections were concluded. When are you providing bicycles to the LC1 as government? Two, Honorable Prime Minister, rains yesterday devastated my two sub-counties in Busama sub-county and town council. Honorable Speaker,
around 7 widows who had got money for PDL. All their animals were killed. A Catholic church was blown off, and a church of Uganda, including for Muslims. When are you helping those people? And when do you think you can help the people of Tareja also to benefit from the hardships of the OPM, especially?
Right, Honorable Prime Minister. I will start with the one of LOCs. Members, we have been providing bicycles for LOCs. I will request the Ministry of Local Government to come here and inform us when. Then the iron sheets from OPM, please come to the office and we have them.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Cabinet.
Honorable Prime Minister, with the enhancement of teachers' salaries, there is a gap which has opened up with the other staff in different schools. School busters, secretaries, librarians, and lab technicians. Honorable Prime Minister, the secretaries at our schools are earning 370,000 Ugandan shillings, and that's the gross salary. The take-home can be around 250,000. My question to your office is, do we have any contingent plan to look into salary enhancement of these other workers at our schools? Thank you very much.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Through the Prime Minister, first of all, I want my honorable colleague to thank us for finally increasing the teachers' pay. We are also mindful of the fact that we are having challenges in the budget. Once our budget is supported, and I'm happy we are here, we will be able to have that increase done. But as of now, it's within our plan to work within what is available. I thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Karia. Then Honorable Doctor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Prime Minister, I just want to bring to your attention that government supplied an oxygen plant to Iganga General Hospital about 2 years ago. But that oxygen plant is not functioning simply because of the power line that goes to the hospital, which has its electricity is not regular. We have written to the Ministry of Energy, we have written to the manager at UNCL, and we have written to your office as well, but no response has been given, and now the oxygen plant is redundant. Secondly, our ambulance of the General Hospital is also down, and we don't know whether it's supposed to be serviced by the district because it got an accident. So we don't know whether it is supposed to be serviced by the district or the hospital or the ministry. So I just need your guidance. Thank you.
Right, Honorable.
I feel I want to also add something to the question that was asked by a member earlier, which was answered by Honorable Kwang. How I wish we had public service she's here. That Honorable Speaker and members, I remember we brought a pay rise plan for salaries across ministries, departments and agencies. We started with scientists, followed by security, and now teachers. We shall go step by step. And those who are that category of cohort of workers will also receive the pay rise in the near future. That Honorable Speaker and members, I have taken note of the members concerned, and I direct energy to make sure that the line destined to Iganga Hospital is upgraded. so that it can be able to host the oxygen plant. Thank you so much.
Right Honorable, we also have to prepare for the ambulance. The Minister for Health and
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For simple maintenances, we have a budget line that we allocate to hospitals, the district health office called PHC language recurrent, and I would urge that they explore the possibility that if it's a major repair, like an accident, then the ministry can look into it. If it's a write-off, then we could replace it in the near future. But also on the side of fuel, I would like to tell honorable members that Parliament always appropriates money and loads fuel cards for their villages. Just the last Parliament, 11th, we were able to appropriate 10 billion shillings for that. Thank you.
Now, Honorable Minister, you should ask for the head of the hospital. Now the MP has done his part. So from here, call the head of the hospital to give you a status report on the ambulance, and you see which kind of repair it needs, and you take over from here. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Anne Jovia, followed by Honorable Rockbarrier.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. During the commissioning of Karuma Dam in Kiandongo district, the President pledged to tarmac Katulikire Mutunda Atura Road, and also to provide a ferry for the people of Kiandongo and the neighboring district around that area. My question goes to the Prime Minister. What steps has the government taken to make sure that the pledge is fulfilled? Thank you.
Right Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker and members, we already have the designs, and we are now currently looking for money so that we can have a ferry along that stretch.
Thank you. Honorable Barkema, followed by Honorable Anit Namatu.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for giving me this second opportunity to speak on the behalf of my people, Karamoja. Honorable Speaker, Nablatuk is one of the hardest places to reach. The majority of the people have not embraced education. The reason is that primary schools have not been established in many parishes. For example, Honorable Speaker, Napogepobe Parish, Ashegertoli, Moruangibui, Natopojo Parish, Nakayot Parish, Nablatuk Town Council. These parishes shouldn't have to walk more than 10 kilometers to access the services, whereby not all of them endure with the challenges of accessing education. Kindly, I do request that the Minister of Education to help and plan to...
Right Honorable. First of all, Honorable Speaker, let me begin by congratulating my neighbor, because Nablato directly borders Nariam. We share one common border. I hope she's a good neighbor. She's a good neighbor. No, this one I can confirm, this one is a good neighbor. And one who is very positive. We work closely in terms of dealing with the wrong elements who are the warriors. Second, I want to remind her that it is true we have a government policy to construct a primary school per parish. It is also true that the Ministry of Education and Sports submitted a cabinet paper with detailing all our plans on our requirements holistically across the country. And if I'm to go on record, I think that cabinet paper was talking about 5.7 trillion Uganda shillings. We had asked, beginning this financial year, that they give us at least every year about 500, 700 billion, so that we will be able to meet all the demands or requirements of primary schools in all parishes across the country without a primary school.
However, Right Honourable Speaker, it is also us who agitate for the creation of administrative units. I want to appeal to us. As of now, the planning of government is to ensure the existing almost 10,000 parishes are fully covered with the existing primary schools. But the challenge normally comes as you plan for 10,000 or for 7,000, we are going to create additional. That creates a lot of difficulties in terms of completing these plans as per what is within our policy. So ours is entirely to request that no more creation of additional administrative units in order for us to fulfill the plan which we have. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.